All right, this is gonna be a short one. Got the valve cover painted. I have this just test fitted right now, but today we're putting on Ireland Engineering studs for the intake and the exhaust. Super simple. Red Loctite because I don't ever want them to come out. But this is how the engine's gonna sit right now with the color combination. I'm very happy, very satisfied with how it looks. I ran into a problem where installing the intake and removing the thermostat housing is kind of iffy, so I can't pull this out of the engine unless my fuel rail is off and or this intake is off. So I'm trying to figure out a way I can mitigate that. Realistically, if I pull it, pull it forward enough, it's almost off, right? Like it's basically off the stud right here. So if I can like find a machine shop maybe to machine this or machine this piece down a little less so that I can just, if I need to take the intake off, I don't have to go through the whole process of taking my fuel rail off, because that's annoying and that's a task in itself. So the wiring harness actually sits on top here and here. And to get the fuel rail off, you end up taking off the wiring harness and everything in between, obviously, everything in between. And then you can take this fuel rail off. Then you can take this off. Or, yeah, I think that's the only way I can do that. So I really want to chop this down and then, make it easier for me to, take it off. But realistically, I shouldn't have to take this off after I put it on the engine. So let's get into putting the studs on. I'm not going to do a time lapse because it's not that necessary. I'm just going to show you what they look like after I install them on the engine. All right, so all the intake studs are in except one, because for some reason when I started twisting it, it stripped the thread. So I'm going to chase that thread real quick. And the exhaust studs are on. The IE ones use a Allen head, which makes it a lot easier. I probably could have got the same for this side, since I think they're the same. But the cool thing about these is that it uses a thin wall 11mm socket. So when things get tight, it's easier to put an 11 rather than a 12 or a 13 in there. But now we're gonna throw on the intake. We're not gonna tighten it because I still need to chase that, but we'll throw on the intake and throw on the exhaust. I wanted to do a valve adjustment today, but I don't know where my, what do you call that? A little thingy with that measures the clearances. I forgot. I had it in the top net, the thread gapper tool, whatever. I don't have that, so I probably won't be able to do that today. But at least we get to see how close to complete the engine will look with the exhaust and the intake on. All right, so it's mocked up. What I gotta do now, probably get these Cerakoted or powder coated. I'm probably gonna do Cerakote because Cerakote absorbs heat better. I want the whole exhaust to be Cerakoted, but I'll at least do the headers to get, the exhaust logs to get Cerakoted. I'm gonna punch these out. As you can see, they're threaded, but there's no threads on the other end, so they can't even screw into the exhaust properly. So that's what I'm gonna do with these. This is on now, for now at least, just a mock-up. I'm still gonna chase this thread and then put the stud back in, but I realize I guess putting on the intake and thermostat, you have to remove the fuel rail. So I took the fuel rail off and was able to put in. Also, this down here is the, I guess like the bracket that holds everything together for the, like a stabilizing bar for this. But what I think I need to do actually is slide this behind the engine mounts and then put that in there. Because when I put it on normally, the intake would not sit flush. So I'm gonna take the engine mounts off. There's only holding on by one bolt. Slide this behind there, and then that should be good money. I just want to see what it looked like. Did a decent job. I'm gonna clean it up. Still need to do a valve adjustment before I secure this to the head and some other miscellaneous parts, but that's it for today.